Hey, hey. I'm Dr. Avis Williams, the proud superintendent for NOLA Public Schools, and this is Talk Supt Roundtable. I have with me, of course, Courtney Washington, our Chief Communications Officer. Hey, Courtney, how are you?
Hey, Doc. It's so great to be here with you again for another episode of Talk Supt Roundtable.
Yes, and we have our amazing scholars from Edna Carr. And, I always like to start off with something positive. We're going to dig into some serious topics as we talk today. But I want to start off as our scholars introduce themselves. I want to hear how was your Mardi Gras? Because one of the reasons that we've had a little bit of a break was because of the Mardi Gras holiday. And so with that being said, I'm going to pitch it to Jariah. And Jariah, after you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your holiday, you go ahead and pitch it to someone else. So, hey, Jariah.
Hi, you guys. My name is Jariah Richardson. I'm a 12th grade student at Edna Carr High School. And I think overall, Mardi Gras was amazing. Like, it was a relatively safe Mardi Gras. There weren't too many incidents. Like, I think we did good this Mardi Gras.
All right. I love it. I love it. Who do you want to pitch it to?
Anthony?
Hey y'all, so my name is Anthony and I am a junior here at the High School. And my Mardi Gras break was really fun. I enjoyed myself. Like Jariah said, it was relatively safe. Like I think they only had one incident. And even though that's still bad to be having incidents at Mardi Gras, I mean, for our city that's good because, we're showing progress. Like each time we're showing progress. So I feel like it was good. I stayed safe. I had fun with my friends and family, and yeah. And I want to pitch it to Courtney.
Hi, my name is Courtney Delatorre. I'm a 10th grader here at Edna Carr, and same thing Jariah and Anthony was saying. My Mardi Gras was fun. I spent it with my friends and family. We were all safe. We was in a safe spot, and I just feel like with the one incident that happened, it's better than the tons of incidents that's been happening. If you know what I'm trying to say, but
yeah. All right, who are you gonna pitch it to? Zayden, jump on in.
I'm a grader in the car, and I feel like personally, my Mardi Gras was pretty safe, and also I had fun. And I agree with Jariah, Anthony, and Courtney. I do feel like Mardi Gras has been worse in past years. So to say we only had a few incidents, I do believe we're making progress.
All right. Last and certainly not least.
At Edna Carr High School.
Can you start over, babe? We missed the beginning. Start over.
Oh, y'all can't hear me? Can they hear me now?
We can. Just start over. We didn't hear you at the beginning.
I said, good afternoon. I'm Jordan Rogers. I am a sophomore at Edna Carr. And I was just saying that I was happy that the break planned out the way it did. I'm not from here. So for me to be able to bring my family and my friends to an environment and be able to safely have fun and make memories with each other, I felt very comfortable, and I was really happy and proud with the city that I live in because, everybody know, don't go outside, you're going to get hurt. Like, we'll say all come together and have a good time with the other people who are native to this area. And so I really had a good time.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you all had a great time. And the reason that we bring that up first is because before Mardi Gras, we had a press conference with school leaders and really was pushing the community to make sure that we keep you guys safe during Mardi Gras. And I'm glad we were able to do that. And I do feel like even one incident is one incident too many, because I don't want us to normalize violence, to the point where we don't see it as something that is a travesty. But I am super excited that you guys had a safe and fun Mardi Gras. Me personally, it was my first one and I had a great time as well. What about you, Courtney?
Same here. And again, scholars, I concur with you all, as well as with you, Doc. One incident is one incident too many, but still, the silver lining is that it's not as bad as it could have been. But also with it being my first Mardi Gras, it was so refreshing to be able to enjoy it and to see you all in action,
Yes.
being able to see the many faces of our scholars showcasing their hard work from the start of the school year was very refreshing. I definitely enjoyed it.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah. So, looking forward to another great Mardi Gras next year. Of course, it's festival season now, so that should be great as well. So, we have not had this convening in a few weeks, and again, the Mardi Gras holiday was the main reason. And Jariah had a good point as we were preparing for today that we kind of need to do a reset.
Yep.
So, Jariah, I'm actually going to pitch it to you, and maybe let's just take a few minutes to recap some of the things that we've talked about, and how you all see things now. So go for it, Jariah.
Okay, started like our first couple of meetings. Our main focus was what's going on in the city between the youth and the violence that's going on, and what things we think are adding to the fire, and how do we want to put out the fire, basically. And that's basically what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I know we landed on some things about what's there to do in the city. One of the things that I really appreciated, I believe it was at our last convening, where you talked about the uncomfortable conversations.
Yes.
Can you kind of shed some more light on that, or even if it's just a repeat of what you said, because I thought it was powerful and worthy of being lifted up again.
Yes, and our last meeting, I said we need to become more comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations, and not only like talking to the people who are victims of gun violence, but we actually need to talk to people who are causing the violence in the city, like get their perspective, because that's the only way we're ever going to be able to end it. I think we need to have those conversations with kids who may go down that path, because we need to know what's causing it to happen in order to prevent it.
Yeah, I completely agree, because, if we don't get to a root cause, then it's going to be very difficult for us to prevent. We don't want to keep having the balloon releases and the responses to community violence. It would be great if we can get to a point to where we're eradicating it. And I think you're spot on. Anybody
And
want to say anything else? Go ahead, babe.
I have one more thing to say. I think a reason why Mardi Gras went the way it was and we didn't have as many incidents as we've seen in the past is because we, as the youth and as the community, we don't want to see it keep happening. So we acknowledge the problem and we know it's a problem, but now we just have to see how we will move forward.
I want to piggyback off of Jariah because I definitely agree. I feel like as a community, like we're tired. Like we've been saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's like it's repetitive and it's getting tiring. And I feel like as a community, we're actually seeing that look, this is like a holiday native to our city, and we want it to be safe for the visitors, for the friends, for our family. We want it to be homey, and we want everybody to feel welcome. So we realizing that this needs to stop if we want our city to keep going forward and moving forward. And I agree with what Jariah said. Also, I want to piggyback on what you said about the uncomfortable conversations. I still feel like that needs to be emphasized to everybody in the city, in the community, because those conversations need to be had in order for us to keep on prospering and keep on going forth and being great. Like we need to figure out why this happened in the first place to nip it in the bud. Like we need to be talking to the people that have problems so that they could talk it out, and we could stop all this in our city, and the city will come better. Yeah.
Right.
Anybody else want to chime in?
I definitely
Somebody else have something to add?
I would like to piggyback off what Anthony and Jariah said. I do feel like our community of New Orleans, we are kind of opening our eyes to the to the issue of gun violence. However, I feel like we are holding ourselves more accountable and we are taking more actions like mentally wise. Now we're not trying to push to just anger over one of our loved ones getting killed. We're now thinking about it and saying, well, what could have happened to cause this? And I also feel like that does piggyback off what we previously said about the uncomfortable situations, because I feel like New Orleans, whether we see it or not, some of us has really, well, majority of us has changed mentally. We see it in our
Mhm.
faces as a reoccurring issue. So now we really are trying to push to stop it, even if you're just an innocent bystander.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I think as a community, like even adults and the youth as well, I think we're starting to realize that the victims of this gun violence, it keeps getting younger and younger.
Mhm. Mhm.
And like even Warren Easton lost another student recently, another one that freshman. So it's like it just it keeps happening, and we're tired of it keep happening.
Yeah. And that's why the conversations have to continue. That's why we have to continue talking about this. And that's really a good segue to talk about summer. Summer is something that I remember always looking forward to. And this is regardless of whether I had big plans that included school or work or whatever the case may be. And so one of the things that I'm really wondering about and making sure that we keep an eye on is how do we make sure we have a safe summer? Because, as the temperatures rise, sometimes violence does as well. And we don't want that, right? So I'm going to pitch out a couple of ideas of things that might be on your radar for summer and tell me how you feel about it. And then I just got 3 or 4 things I'm going to pitch out. And then I want to hear from you guys on how you see us planning now to ensure we can have a safe summer. So I'm gonna start off for summer. What about work? Anybody planning to work this summer? And if so, what does that look like? Talk to us, Antoinette.
Okay, so it's not really work, or you can consider it work, but I applied to the U4 NOLA internship program.
Good,
And
yay.
as of right now, I completed it and I'm just waiting for admission. So fingers crossed that I get it. And if I do get it, I'll be there from 8:30 to 1, Monday to Thursday, and probably get like a small job somewhere, or I
Okay.
just spend it with my friends, like, spend my time somewhere else. But hopefully that's what I get, and that's what I plan on doing over the summer.
Yeah, that's great. Summer is a great time for you guys to dive into either work experiences that it's what you want to do for a career, or even just explore, so you can learn more about different careers. Anybody else want to weigh in on the work side?
Okay, so my mom owns a pet store, and
Okay.
so on my off time, like on the weekends or something, I go there and help her. Um, and for the summers, I usually go to Texas by my dad, but I'm planning on staying down here to help her more. She's planning on moving from out the shop, and she's planning on getting a trailer. So I'm helping her
Okay.
like move and stuff. And um, I have an interview today for King, so hopefully I do get that job. But yeah, that's all
Nice.
I have planned.
Okay, well, good.
Mhm.
Okay, so how about travel? Because you mentioned that you normally travel with your and go visit your dad. And I know summer is a good time to go visit family, or sometimes it's a vacation, and sometimes it's that you have to go stay with a relative over the summer, right? But anybody traveling this summer?
I'm traveling this summer. I'm either
Okay.
going to Alabama or Florida, and I might be going to a cruise to Mexico. So I'll
Okay.
see how that plans out. But I'm very excited for the trips I have planned.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time to get away. And Jariah, before I said travel, you look like you had something to say about work. What you got?
Well, yeah, I was gonna add that I applied to volunteer in a youth program at Children's Hospital,
Oh,
and I
nice.
also plan on spending a lot of time with my friends because I will be going to college in the fall.
Yeah, so that was my next thing, college planning or college trips, because how many of you guys are seniors again? Who are my seniors?
I'm the only senior.
Dry is the only senior. And so for everybody else, it's a good time to either think about college or work and, visit schools or that type of thing. Anybody have any other plans in terms of school? And when I say school, even your current school, if you're going to take some dual enrollment classes or get a certification, anything school related that you guys plan on doing?
So, can y'all hear me? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, I applied to multiple different summer programs across, I guess you could say across the country. There are many programs, like I applied for Stanford. I applied for another one that it was kind of like an invitation, but it was still like an application as to where I had to fill it out.
Yeah.
And throughout those courses, some lasted like 9, 10 days. But the Stanford one and another other ones like that are different traveling colleges, it goes from June to August. So I'll be in college and I'll get credits. And as of
Nice.
now, I, along with Zayden and Courtney, we take an AP class, so we're already about to finish our sophomore year within college credit.
Love it, love it, love it. That is so good. I love it, love it. All
And
right.
I
So
want
go
I
ahead,
want
babe.
to go next. So when you talk about travel, I think I'm going on another cruise this year, but if I don't, then me and my mom are planning to go tour Howard University because that's my top choice of college. And we wanted to do it
Nice.
this summer because I wanted to do it before I actually apply for it. Like I want to see
Okay.
it before I get to being a senior, and I'm like, oh, this is where I really want to go. So that's the plan that I have too.
That's smart. I like that idea. Yep. That sounds great. And again, summer really is a good time to do that. And so my next question that I would love to hear from you guys is, how do we make sure that we plan for a safe summer? With everything that we're talking about, there is this thing that for real, when the heat rises, that sometimes violent crimes do as well. And we don't want that for our community. And we definitely don't want that for our young people. So what are we doing to plan, or what should we be doing to plan for a safe summer?
I think everyone wants to have a fun summer, of course, like that's a main thing. But I think productivity is definitely important as well, because if people stay busy, they kind of stay out of trouble. Like if you're into something that's productive and it's positive, then you won't have time to go do things that you shouldn't do.
That's true. That's true. And I think you nailed the main thing is just to say, do something productive, right? Be engaged in something productive. Yeah. Yeah. Like what? What are some things that you guys can think of and the reason I'm asking is because it's March now, right? Summer will be here before you know it. And if there are some things that we can do to help plan for a safe summer, now is certainly the time to make sure that that's on our radar. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I was saying that I was thinking that in order to have a safe summer, you have to know the people that you're surrounded with. And I say that because, as you know, we're young, we're in New Orleans, we know how to have a good time. We're gonna want to have a good time. So if we're always I ain't gonna say congregated, but like if we're always together having fun, and not everybody or get along, and that's
Right.
cool. But some people take it to the extreme, and so it's like if people throw parties, they have these events, they have these get-togethers. What my question is, like you said, what are we going to do to prevent that? We can't stop
Yeah.
people from seeing their friends and their family because not
Mhm.
everybody knows the connections. People might not like each other, but still have someone that connects them together.
That's
So
right.
that is a really vital thing because, as you may know, a lot of people, unfortunately, they die from having, like, while they're having a good time. Like, they'll be at parties, they'll be at different events, and something pops off, and we lose somebody over
Yeah.
something that just could have been avoided. But, however, no one ever knows who's going to be where at what time. And
Yeah.
that's like a key thing that I just wanted everyone to think about.
I want to lift up one thing that you kind of mentioned about friends and who we're hanging around. When we were talking about having a safe Mardi Gras, one of the things was have a parade buddy. And so that makes me think, like, who are your summer buddies that you can count on, that think like you in terms of fun activities that might be safe. So that might be a good tip, is just to make sure we're working closely with our friends to make decisions on where we go and with whom we hang out.
Okay, so I wanted to add something that we could do over the summer. So I don't know if y'all remember from our last talk, but we had brought up something about like the police getting more involved with our youth. So I
Yeah.
feel like over the summer we should open up like more like police coming, like police open up opportunities for students to go see what they do, like a day in life with a
Oh,
police officer, or like a day in life with an EMT, a day in life with a firefighter. Because I remember like a few days ago I was talking to this girl and she said she wanted to be an EMT, but she didn't know like if she really wanted to do it because she never really sees like, you know, what
mhm.
they do hands on. And I was like, I feel like that would be a really good idea to open up over the summer, because a lot of people might want to be doctors, nurses, but we need EMTs too. And if
That's
they
right.
know what an EMT does, if they know what a firefighter does or a police officer does, like in real life, behind what you see, I mean, other than what you see on the TV, then you
Yeah.
would know like this is what I really want to do. So I feel like we should open up that opportunity for our youth.
I love that, Antoinette. I mean, because summer would be the ideal time for,
Right.
for what you're saying to me goes beyond just normal job shadowing, because it's also about building those relationships. I think that's a great idea. And maybe y'all know we talked about having the basketball game between the police department and the fire department.
Yeah.
They don't know we've got this planned, but maybe summer would be a good time for that to happen too. Go ahead, Jariah. I know you got something to say.
Yeah, I do. I was gonna say like with us being in school, I know a lot of people who are interested in things like cosmetology and
Mhm.
I know you mentioned that earlier, and like mechanics and stuff. And I
Yes,
know that will be a good thing for people like learning skills over the summer that will
yes.
help them. Like that's a trade that they can use forever. And
Yeah,
I know there are a lot of rec centers that aren't being put to use, like that can be put to use in an effective way.
I love it. I love it. So how can we make sure that the rec centers are open and thriving, and then making
Right.
sure that there are opportunities for young people to learn about job skills? I mean, because if you're interested in being credentialed in something, you can get a real good start on that over the summer. I think that's definitely something great to lift up. And you'll have time to do it. So it could be a summer of learning, where you
Right.
learn a new skill, or learn more about a skill that you might already have. I love it, love it, love it. Well, these are things that we're going to continue talking about over the next couple of weeks. And guys, I really appreciate your insights. I always learn so much when we're talking. I think I may have frozen there for a second, or somebody was frozen. But I really appreciate the insights that you all share, and look forward to our next conversation as we continue to just really make sure your voices are being heard and centered, and that we're working together to keep our community safe.
Yep.
And with that said, I'm going to pitch it to you, Courtney, to see if we have any announcements or anything that we want to share.
Yeah, so before we close out from this conversation, I just want to do another slight call to action to the community. Our scholars, you hear them here. They are interested in summer activities. They're interested in activities, period, in the community. So I am asking that any organization that may listen to the recording of this, or if you're tuning in right now live, drop your organization in the chat, or email it to communications@nolapublicschools.com. And that's, again, communications@nolapublicschools.com, because what we want to do is compile a list of activities to share with all of our scholars. We want to promote it on our website and on our social media. And we can only do that if you share that with us. But at the same time, be prepared to hear from our scholars about what they are actually interested in. And so again, that's communications@nolapublicschools.com. Share your summer activities or your jobs, because we want our scholars employed. We want them learning, and we want them to enjoy what they're doing while they're doing it. So one announcement is we don't want you to forget that we are now and still accepting applications for our early childhood learning seats. And so families can apply now through March 10th. Again, that's now through March 10th. Visit NOLA Public School, visit enrollnolaps.com to apply today. And again, that's enrollnolaps.com to apply today. And that's all I have, Doc.
Yay. Well, guys, we appreciate your thoughtfulness, and this conversation will continue. We'll be back in 2 weeks with some more insights. And for our community that's watching, if there's something specific that you want to hear from our young people about, let us know. Like Courtney said, drop us a comment, and we would be more than happy to address any questions or topics that the community may have. But with that said, we will wrap up. And young people, I want you to know that I hear you, I see you, and I love you. And I'm so excited that you are a part of this team as we make every effort to ensure that our community is a safe, fun place for everybody, but especially for our young people. So thank you so much for tuning in to Talk Supt Roundtable, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Bye.